Yeah, so as you already said, my name is Bogdan. I'm a software engineer at Actual. We're those geeky Kafka guys, so you can actually put a tag on us. When you enter a discussion with us, you can be sure that we're gonna drag all day and night about producers, consumers, topics, rebalancing, blah, blah, blah. Recently, I got engaged with Pluralsight. I'm an author with them right now. I'm making my way through the first course. And today I'm not going to be talking about Kafka, because as I said, I work for Actual, but I'll try to talk with Kafka, or to Kafka, to be more precise. Who has a smart device? Everyone has a smartphone? Yeah, that was the next question. Or a smartwatch, or... I was curious what a smart device actually is. So I went to Wikipedia and I found this. Smart device is an electronic device generally connected to other devices, blah, 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 that can operate to some extent interactively and autonomously. So that's quite a definition there, a lot of fast words. So I just cut it up, and we can break down a smart device to two basic things. A smart device needs to be connected. Try to think of smart fridge, for example. You have, it can tell you at any time, day and the night, what food do you have left in your fridge. So you can be at the supermarket, for example, and you just open the app and you can see, oh, I have only 2 bottles of milk left. So I need to buy more. And what would be a smart fridge without internet connection? It would be nothing more than a fridge. So a smart device needs to be connected. The other thing needs to operate interactively and autonomously. Try to think about, a phone, like previous generation's phones, not smartphones, but the 2000 phone, a Nokia 3010 or something. You can still connect it to the internet. I mean, you can access web pages, blah, 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 but it's not really interactively or autonomously. So, yeah, these are the two basic things that you need to know about smart devices. Some boring statistics. In 2017, we had around 5.9 billion devices. And the interesting fact about this number is that it does not cover smartphones and tablets. These are only smart devices like, just I said, smart fridges. In 2018, we had around 7 billion. That's around 15% more. And according to IoT analytics, in 2025, we'll have around 21 billion devices. So that's 3 times more. So we can clearly see that things are going that way. People want to be more, feel more comfortable. How it all started. I'm not sure if people are curious about that, but there you go. Everything started with this. Maybe not this, but something similar. It's a Coke vending machine. So it was early 80s, 1982, and sorry?
3 cents.
Okay, and it was this guy called David Nichols. I don't know exactly how to pronounce his name. From Carnegie Mellon University. It's in Pittsburgh in the United States. So he was sitting one day at the office in computer science department, and he was craving soda. He wanted some Coca-Cola to drink. And in the campus, in their university campus, there was this Coca-Cola vending machine. But it was it was quite a trip from his office to that vending machine, and he knew that his colleagues are kind of addicted to it. So there was a really low chance to actually find some Coca-Cola in there, and that Coca-Cola to be, and even if there is some Coca-Cola in there, the Coca-Cola will be really, really warm because it was just inserted in the machine, so no chance to get it warm, cold. So what he decided, he actually decided to mount some device to that Coke vending machine and tell in real time what's the status in there. How many Coca-Colas are left? Are they cold? Are they warm? So he actually connected to that board to something called ARPANET, is the basis for the modern internet. as Wikipedia said. And yeah, at that time there were around 300 computers connected to that network. In today's world, we have different, well, not different, but a wider range of smart devices. We have sensors. Right now we have proximity detectors, smart thermostats. On the energy field again, smart plugs, well, power outlets, switches, smart bulbs, everything is smart. On the mechanical automation, smart locks, coffee makers. Who doesn't like to, I know, when the alarms rings in the morning to get the coffee already prepared. And the most interesting part is the cognitive IoT. Cognitive is the process of acquiring knowledge and understanding based on some specific skills. Skills like reading, learning, or learning from past experiences. So this is the use cases that we have chosen on, and yeah, it's about actually trying to speak to Kafka. Well, how we've done that? So we went for a Kafka cluster, a basic Kafka plain installation, and to actually recognize our voice and transform it into some text format, we went for a Google Home. No specific reason. There are a couple of more solutions out there. So you have Google Home, Amazon Alexa. You also have Siri, Cordova, or whatever. And the goal was to make our speech being persisted and maybe processed in Kafka, but also try to somehow get some feedback out of it. And probably you're wondering why, and most likely, more important, why Kafka? Well, in my opinion, there are three kinds of people. So you have heliocentric. I probably know the theory. Everything revolves around the sun, so all the planets are revolving around the sun. Then you have the geocentric guys. Geocentric is about everything revolves around the Earth, so Earth is the most important thing. And then you have the third one. Can anyone guess? Ego. Someone actually knew it. Have you seen the slides? Okay. And yeah, so there are those guys, you know, everything revolves around Kafka. Kafka is the backbone for every system out there. And if we take these models and we transpose them to software delivery techniques, we have different ways of doing that. So we have the data-driven type, just like the sun is the source of truth for humans, because based on if it's night or day outside, we can operate, right? We go to work on the daytime and not on the nighttime, usually. So just like that, we have the database as our source of truth. For geocentric, that's more an egotistic approach. So you have, in a company, you have domain silos. So, this is kind of an example for e-commerce company. You have shipping department, you have order department, you have payment department. Everyone is building their own application, and somehow they communicate with each other. And then you have the Kafka-centric part. Kafka is really good at doing one thing. It's about processing events. I think there is nothing really much to say about that since you're here. And this is why we actually went for Kafka, because people act on an event basis. Humans are actually a result of events. Take for example, you go to the gym, right? You go to the gym for half a year, and you go there day by day. So when you go there, you do curls, you do push-ups, stand-ups, whatever. And every day, bit by bit, your muscle tone increases. You get better. It's not like doing everything in a batching way. So you're not going there every day, and after 6 months, you just get like Hulk mode on. No, it's not going to work like that. The same thing applies in here. It's easier to map actions and people events. People actions in events. So going back to our thing, we have the Google Home. I've actually tried to dissect it a little bit. So I found 3 components out of it. So a Google Home is nothing more than a microphone, which is kind of clear because I need to speak to it, a speaker to get some feedback, and Google Assistant. And this is the most interesting part. There is just a processor which connects to the internet, records my voice, and actually do all that speech recognition part on the cloud. So there is actually almost none, well, it's almost zero processing done on that machine. And yeah, probably it stores only some settings about Wi-Fi connection, Bluetooth connection, and that's all. Now the next question is how to make those two communicate with each other. And we found a couple of solutions. We had two criteria in mind: to be as generic as possible and to make it as simple as possible, because it was just one-day experiment, so we wanted to have just a few time at our disposal. So we found out that Google actually provides a really nice set of APIs that you can actually rely on to, and they're quite okay. They are super flexible, but it's super specific, so we cannot really take Google APIs and map them to Amazon Alexa, because there will be a different set of APIs. Home Assistant, it's a tool for home automation. Somehow we are actually able to extract data from there, but was not really interesting at that point because it was kind of limiting. MQTT, this is the famous protocol for IoT devices, and works really nice with Kafka because it's a published subscriber type of protocol. But there was again the question how we take information from Google Assistant into MQTT. And then there is IFTTT, which actually we went for, and it's a simple programming language. It's actually so simple that it's just if this then that. It's nothing more than that. The base unit for IFTTT is called an applet. So when you want to build an action or something, you have to first start up with an applet. And then an applet contains two subdivisions. You have a this and a that. Yeah, that basic. So if each this and that actually are mapped to different services, and they have quite a large amount of services that you can choose to. So naturally on the left side for this, if this happens, so if Google Assistant reacts in some way, then we have to do something with that. The problem was there was no Kafka integration, Kafka service, so you cannot really take a Kafka service and put it in there in if IFTTT. So we went for the closest thing as a software developer would do, webhooks. Webhooks is just like plain REST calls. If you want to get some information, you do a GET call. If you want to provide some information, you do a POST call. So it's super basic. So let's review our flow. On the left side we have the Google Home. On the right side we have the Apache Kafka. So from Google Home is going to reach the Google Cloud. From Google Cloud is going to reach Google Assistant from IFTTT, and then we make a web request. We needed some kind of adapter between these two components, because we cannot really post things to Kafka just like that. We cannot use plain REST calls to Kafka. So we created something called Kafka IFTTT adapter. I don't know about you, but I'm terrible at choosing names, and for software and variables especially. So yeah, this is pretty much the flow. Actually, I have a small demo set up. So what I can say about this IFTTT adapter is nothing more than a plain Spring Boot application with you cannot see it.
You have to exit the presentation,
right? Doop, doop, doop. Really? What happened? Okay, cool. So it's nothing more than a Spring Boot application, a Spring Kafka actually. So I can just run it. It will take, okay, failed close Kafka consumer. Okay, that's nice. It's the demo effect. Are my brokers running? I have yeah, I have a local cluster set up, so it's no entry found for connection. Okay, so I guess I'll be trying to debug this thing. Kill the brokers, because that's what everyone does. Okay, something happened. Can you see? Will be posted on the bottom part actually. So what is happening? My displays are going wrong. I think the PowerPoint is actually...
Yeah, you have to exit the presentation when PowerPoint, it will be easier for you.
Okay, let's try that. Okay, something happened. Since I'm running my application on my local computer, I need somehow to expose this thing over the internet. So I'm using ngrok here. And so the first step is actually, so I'm on the IFTTT website, and we need to create an applet for that. There is already one in here. I'm going to delete it. No, I don't want to get started. I want to create a new one. So just like that, it's an if this, then that. So for this part, just as I said, there are plenty of services that are available. So you can even have a Facebook integration. So we'll go for Google Assistant, and we'll pick this thing, say a phrase with a text ingredient. What do we want to say? There are a couple of fields that we need to fill in. What do we want to say is kind of the trigger for Google Assistant to know, hey, I want to enter on this flow. So I will say just like it is time to, and then we have a text ingredient which will this $sign will actually be a placeholder for all the rest of the phrase that we're going to say it after this thing. And what do you want the assistant to say? All the other fields are optional. Well, you can say like this: I've told Kafka to, and then the text ingredient. So this is our trigger. For the then part, we go for webhooks. And when our trigger will get triggered. We make a request, we make a web request. So we put the URL that I've just exposed with ngrok, and the endpoint is /produce. Going to be a post request, and the content type will be an application JSON. The body is actually two fields body. So we have a service, which I called it IFTTT. And then you have a message, which is the text field. And then you create the action. Okay. Finish. Okay, let's check if everything is all right. Cool. So now everything should be set up in place. Yeah, no. Timeout expired while fetching topic metadata. Actually, I'll try to clean up the brokers. Where are my brokers? Our broker status. Sorry for this. Do the same with the zookeeper. Okay, zookeeper is fine. Okay, Kafka started. Let's see if it now works. Oh. I hate when these things happens.
Something was already running.
Yeah, I think it's the listener for the nggrot. So I'm going to change the port for my application to 8082. There was some things happening around. Okay, looks like we're almost there, but I now need to change the URL back in the so if okay, make a request to this URL, save. Checking. Okay. Seems to work now. So everything is stored in a topic. In Kafka, I've called it IFTTT. Nothing really impressive about that. I've hooked up a consumer. So right now, if I'm saying something to Google Home, I should get the consumer triggered. Does anyone wants to go for it? Okay. Hey Google, it is time to take a shower.
I've told Kafka to take a shower.
Okay. Something is happening. The producer get in. Yeah. Consume messages. Take a shower. Yeah. I wanted to go a bit further with this. No. Why? Okay. So I've actually wanted some more feedback from Kafka. So I've actually set up this thing. I've called it an event-driven discussion because just speaking is an event-driven thing. Kind of complex. The goal, well, this bit was actually inspired by a guy called Kelsey Hightower. Probably you know it. He's the Kubernetes guy. And in one of his talks, he actually managed to talk with the Kubernetes cluster to scale up deployments, get them down, and whatever. So I tried to do pretty much the same thing, but with the GitLab pipeline, with the CI/CD pipeline. Take them bit by bit. So the first bit, I think you already know. Google Home goes to IFTTT, goes to adapter, Kafka cluster, and that's it. On the Kafka cluster, I've kind of created the streaming application. It's not Kafka Streams, by the way, but all that it does is just a filter. So based on a keyword, it's going to extract the text, and if it finds that keyword, takes the message, and is going to drop it in another topic. To that topic, I hooked up something that I called a GitLab consumer. If I receive a message on that topic, it's going to trigger a pipeline. On the pipeline side, I actually added at the beginning and at the end of the pipeline a curl command for the adapter, which kind of lets me know that, hey, I've completed the pipeline. The goal was to make Google Home speak back. So I hooked up a notifications consumer. So when I get a message on another topic called notifications, this thing triggers up and somehow make Google Home speak. Unfortunately, there is no easy way to do that. You really need to go for the Google APIs if you want to make this discussion-based flow. And but I found a kind of a hacky workaround. So if I'm running the same, if I'm running another application and the Google Home inside the same network, I can use this thing. It's called Node-RED contrib cast. So this application actually allows me to cast text to Google Home in order to speak. So going to this bit now. So let's see. This is the pipeline. Not interesting.
Your screen.
Again. And show. Okay. So I'm going, Node-RED contrib cast is a JavaScript project. So it's using NPM to start. And it's an event flow based application. So you have, where is my flow? My flow is gone. Okay, so probably I'll need to somehow put it back. So, if I receive a post request on the Google Home, for example, then I need to create a function. This is a bit of a workaround. So I have message.payload and message.payload message typo payload. Okay. I need to hook these two up, and then I need to cast something. I hope I can find it. Find my Google Home.
So it's not trying to find Google Home on the same network?
Yeah, on the same network. I'm actually using my phone to do that, so I'm not really 192, 168, something. Hi, come on, find me something. Okay. Does anyone knows how to find a Google Home address on the local network? Hey Google, what is your IP?
Your public IP address is 6272.192.83.
Hey Google, what is your local IP?
Your public IP address is 6272.192.83.
Okay, sorry, but I'm not really know a fast way to get it.
Bottom right it says dragging. You can import your JSON. I saw just now. Did you store the JSON of this particular flow? Or?
No.
I think in the list of your mobile, because we're tethering, you can see all the connected devices.
Yeah. Can you check?
Yeah. You should see. My phone has that feature, but I don't know if on there.
Come on.
Yeah.
Two devices connected.
Yeah.
Google Home. Oh, I actually get an IP.
Yeah.
So 192, 168, 43, 87. Done. I need to do a couple of more things in here. So I actually want to try out this thing. And I want to do JSON. And I want it to be, so I need a message of I'm live. I want to check this bit first. And I also, let's see, I need to deploy them first. Okay, successfully deployed.
I'm alive.
Cool. And I also, I think it's this one. No, which one was it? Output, HTTP response. I also need to reply with 200 OK because of my limitations. Okay.
Press deploy.
Sorry?
You need to press deploy again for your response. I've used Node before.
Thank you. I'm using this URL as an environmental variable inside my pipeline. So I need to somehow, save variable. Where is it? The code. Streaming filter. So it's nothing more than an if statement in there, and the keyword that I'm looking for is pipeline. So if I'm saying something to Google Home and it goes pipeline, it's going to post a message on that topic. I hope I'm not forgetting anything in there. Pipelines. Okay. Hey Google, run the pipeline.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Hey Google, it is time to run the pipeline. The first bit.
I've told Kafka to run the pipeline.
Okay. Yay, it's running. By the way, I'm one of those guys with git commit amend, so working. So the pipeline is going to take a while. It's on the shared runners. It takes a minute or two. I can show you the what's actually doing. So I'm just echoing some stuff in there. Does a curl command to the IFTTT adapter. Sleeps then for 10 seconds and then does the same thing again. So I'm waiting for the pipeline to actually start.
Bogdan, I remember during the hackathon that it was quite a challenge to find the right, let's say, the trigger sentence. Can you share something about that?
Yeah. Okay, it's going to do something.
GitLab speaking. I am building the application right now.
Okay, cool. Now it's sleeping for 10 seconds.
GitLab speaking. You are lucky. The application has been built successfully.
Cool, thank you. Yeah, it was quite difficult to find the trigger words, I guess, because most of them are already taken care of by other services. So if you put something like super generic in there, it's not going to work. For example, tell Kafka to, if I do this, I'm not sure if it's going to work. Okay, applet successfully updated. Checking now, Apple checked. Hey Google, tell Kafka to do something.
My apologies, I don't understand.
So yeah, this is the bit. It's quite tricky to actually find the proper trigger words.
And And it's not because of your Romanian accent, because we tried in different tones.
Okay, you can try it as well if you want. You're free to go.
So that has to be globally unique?
Yeah, yeah. Because everyone is actually, these applets are actually public. So everyone can actually use them. So it has to be, it's quite tricky to find something, unique. But I found this one, I'm pretty happy with it. Okay. Well, tick, 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 tick. Yep, pretty much that was it. Thank you very much for staying.